All right. For my MCAA 530 project discussing the character trait, I've decided to discuss the term hard work or hard worker in terms of how it applies to sport and why it is a good character trait to have for an athlete. If you look at the first slide, there's three athletes across the front. It's Tim Tebow, Eric LeGrand, and Serena Williams. Now, all three of these athletes exemplify the character trait of hard work, in my opinion, but for many different reasons. Tim Tebow, hard worker in the weight room, hard worker at his craft of football, was able to get a chance through his grit, determination to play the game he loves. And then after he gets cut and released, his hard work, grit, determination again carry him to a career in professional baseball. Eric LeGrand, the next guy over, suffered a career-ending injury at the University of Rutgers where he was paralyzed from the neck down. He's showing hard work by waking up in the morning every day, attacking the day. He spoke at the Rutgers commencement ceremony. His version of hard work, much different than Tebow. His hard work is by living. If it wasn't for his will, determination, and grit to live, he could have really shut down and not had the kind of impact that he's had since. Serena Williams provides even a different story. She grew up in inner city Compton, and through her hard work and determination was able to get out of the inner city and become a big-time tennis champion. So those three athletes, in my opinion, exemplify hard work. Now we're going to further dive in to this idea of hard work and really talk about the words hard work here in the next slide. So according to the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary, hard working is using lots of time and energy to do work. So that means someone who's a hard worker would be a person who uses lots of time and energy to do work. In terms of a team sport, that person is using their time and energy to better the team. Now, it's very important we talk about the words time and energy. Time is the amount of time you put in, obviously, to your craft, but it's the good hours that you get during the day. Now, I can put in 5 hours at baseball and stand around and do nothing, but I could put in 2 good hours, and that's using my time positively. Now, in terms of energy, it's how you attack your tasks. Are you really lethargic and slow, or are you energetic, high energy, even when you're doing something as mundane as raking the baseball field after practice or, mopping the gym floor? A hard worker would be 100% involved in their task, no matter what that task is, mundane. If it's actual physical portions of the sport, they're going to attack it and use a lot of time and a lot of energy to complete the task to better the team. To kind of define hard work and the idea of it, there's a very conflicting view in sports where people are taking hard work and talent and kind of translating them and using them together. Now, talent is non-reflecting upon your hard work. Hard work is a reflection upon how you approach a practice, how you approach the game, the kind of energy that you bring to your teammates, the kind of energy that you bring to the coaching staff with dealing with many different things with your fellow coaches. Now, a quote that I really liked and a lot of athletes have actually adopted and used and said in press conferences on Twitter is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. You could be the most talented athlete in the world, but you don't care about your craft. You don't go in the gym when no one's looking. You don't put in the good positive energy in the weight room at practice. Well, that guy that's working 100%, he'll catch up with you very quick in terms of talent because he's putting a lot of time, a lot of energy and effort into his craft. That's where I think hard work becomes one of the most important quality traits of a person in sports and even of a person in the real world. The next slide's really just 2 videos kind of reflecting this debate between hard work and talent. The first one on the left is Will Smith. Will Smith is an actor. He was a rapper. He was in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for a while. The video is really just a 1 to 2 minute clip of him discussing this idea of talent versus hard work. Will Smith does not believe he's been the most talented actor or rapper or even producer. He believes he just outworks everyone, staying up late at night to work, pursuing different jobs, and that allows his talent to shine. The other one is a highlight from UMBC versus Virginia this year in March Madness. This was the first time in history a 16 seed has beat a 1. To me, this reflects 100% what happens when the talent doesn't work hard, you get caught up with. So after going through those videos, we've kind of talked about the juxtaposition of talent and hard work. Now, how do you teach hard work? As a coach, you want your players to work hard in the classroom and in the games, and that's understandable. That's why you coach. Now, not every kid's going to come in and bust 100% every day in practice, every day in the classroom, and every day in the games. So how, as a coach, do you really get through and teach a kid to improve their work ethic, to improve the way they approach their work? Well, according to Bruce Brown, a coach must model what character trait he or she wants. That's very important. If you're the coach, you don't want to be showing up late to workouts, be showing up late to practice, not have a practice plan ready. You want to show that you've put a ton of time and energy into this team, a ton of time and energy into the practice session, and just amplify enthusiasm throughout the practice, throughout the game. Preach the importance of great grades in the classroom and how the classroom is going to set them up for life. Bring in some speakers who exemplify what hard work means. As a coach, you have to model hard work every day if you want your players to pick up on this character trait and learn the character trait in the way that you see, and that will help your team be a lot better. So another thing, we like to talk about is a hard worker versus an easy worker or a lazy worker. Now, I don't like to call a person a lazy worker. I more see it as an easy worker. You have a relaxed mindset. You want your teammates to clean the field. So as you can see on the slides, there's two lists, what a hard worker exemplifies and what an easy worker exemplifies. Now, a hard worker's the last guy to leave. He encourages his teammates, and that's what you want to be. Now, an easy worker thinks my way's the highway, encourages only when he's doing well. You don't want to be this on a team. Throughout the course of a season, everybody struggles. You go through the ups, you go through the downs together. Well, what happens when your guys aren't playing well? They all become easy workers. They don't want to encourage their teammates who are playing well. They don't want to get out early and rake the field, hit some extra BP. They just don't want to do it. It's just they don't like how they feel at practice, and they're not going to work hard at it because they feel like no one's watching me. I'm not going to get any better. That's not the kind of mindset you want in your program. You want kind of guys who want to show up every day no matter what happens. They're the last one to leave. They give 110% to reach the common goals set forth in the preseason. Now, just looking at this slide is very important. You can kind of get some ideas of what I see as a hard worker and as an easy worker, but obviously you can go on and formulate your own and really model that into your coaching philosophy and be able to tell your players what you think a hard worker is, what you think an easy or a lazy worker looks like. And it gives the guys something to look at and have kind of a mental checklist when they approach practice, when they approach the classroom, when they get into the gym, get on the field. It's very concrete and set in stone, and as a coach, you can easily evaluate and call your players out when they're being an easy worker and not a hard worker. I touched on this a little earlier, but modeling hard work, in my opinion, I have four checklist items that I believe as a coach what I try to do to model hard work, but obviously there's more. I put down four that I felt were very important to me. One's to be the first person to practice. You got to open up the field, open up the gym, have the equipment ready, know what you're going to use for practice, and then when your players get there, you can have them set it up. Always be prepared. Every practice. When guys show up, you have to have a job for them, know what they're doing, know what they're working through. Maybe you've met with them a couple days before, and you kind of know what you want to attack for this practice plan. Don't have filler time. Now, this is the worst thing I've seen coaching when I go to a practice and we have 27 guys standing around having filler time, and they're just, they're listening to music or they're talking to their buddies about the party last night. And, it just gets nothing done, and guys tend to get comfortable and start to work easy. And, you got to have a fast-paced practice with lots of encouragement in it. So those are the four checklists that when I plan out a practice, I go through to make sure I'm modeling this hard work area so we can have a very good practice of a very hard-working practice. This next slide just models three hard-working people: Mark Cuban, Kobe Bryant, and Jeff Bezos. Each of them have been very hardworking in their own fields. Now, you can kind of read their little wrap-up and bio on the slide. Mark Cuban, a bunch of Fortune 500 companies. Kobe, one of the best shooting guards in NBA history. And Jeff Bezos founded Amazon. We can talk about each guy, but you really just want to look and kind of get a feel for what they did and why what they did was perceived as hard work. Cuban didn't take a vacation. Kobe, when he was hurt, rehabbed at 120% and came back earlier to help the team back from injuries. He created this idea called Mamba mentality. Jeff Bezos, who founded Amazon, spent the first few years working 12 to 15-hour days. So these three guys really offer a lot of different ways that you can work hard within your field. So a couple ways to get the newer generation to work hard is, I think, one, give freedom. For example, when I'm coaching a hitter, it's not my job to tell you it is my way or the highway. What my job is to learn what your ticks are, to learn your hitting language, to learn your swing path, to learn what makes you work better. And I need to push those buttons as the coach to be able to get you to work at the level that I want you to work at. I'll spend 20 to 30 minutes a day talking to each guy, whether it's text, whether it's an email, whether it's a phone call, about what makes them tick, how they're doing in classes, just so I know that, we build this relationship. They have freedom, they have input, and they start to trust me, and they're going to want to work hard for me as a coach. So we kind of going to move forward here with hard work now. So we have to understand, first of all, who we're coaching. We're coaching millennials right now. And to them, this idea of hard work might be a little different. So as a coach, it's very important that you study the age demographic that you're working with. You have to know their trends, how to get the most out of them, what buttons you can push. You can't coach a millennial the way you coach people 30 years ago. The same buttons don't apply. The way you coach doesn't apply. So this is where kind of you have to learn as a coach and kind of change your style if you've coached an older generation and now you're coaching millennials. Or even as a coach that's just getting into it right now, you're going to have to model your style when the millennials have their kids, because it's going to be a different time at that point. The second thing is give them mentors or give them experiences. This newer generation doesn't want to work in a classroom-like setting. They want to be out there and they want to fail on their own. They want to see failure, and then they want to come back and they want to learn. So as a coach, you have to allow them to have the experience, whether it be in a practice setting or whether it be in a game like scrimmage setting, to where you can really allow them to feel out the process. Another good thing that we do is we bring in mentors who exemplify hard work. Our players get an hour with them, separate of the coaching staff, talking about their story, talking about how they were hard workers, why they were hard workers, what hard work brought to them. So it really has done our players a lot of good, because they see someone else out in the community working hard. Now, we've used business people, we've used athletes, we've used teachers, we've used a lot of different people in the past, and it really gives them a good model of what hard work looks like in the sports world, in the business world, in the teaching world, and it's really able to translate what those people went through and why those people are hard workers, and they're able to apply it for themselves. So in essence, why that whole 2 slides are very important is because if your players feel like they have input and their coach values the same thing as them as the player, they'll work harder. They're going to be more trusting of the coaches. They're going to be more energetic to come to practice. They're going to want to put time in to get better. So when players feel like they have a little say, have a little control, they feel like they're controlling their own destiny. So they're going to put the time, energy, and effort into having the best practice possible. And if we go back to our definition of hard work, it's somebody who puts a lot of time and energy into their craft to reach the common goal. As a coach, if you allow the players' input, you're going to get them to put a lot of their time, a lot of their energy into it, because they feel emotionally invested to themselves getting better and reaching the goals that they want. So up next, I've just included a video clip from the movie Rocky. Just wanted to exemplify what hard work looks like for one person. Rocky, obviously the most tenacious boxer. Now it is fictional, but he's the most tenacious boxer, always finds a way to win. I get that it's in a movie, but he really exemplifies what hard work looks like. He's running up through the snow, chopping wood to get stronger. A lot of things he does can be applicable to our athletes. Now, it was a long time ago. How can we use what Rocky did to apply it to our student athletes?